This is the Making Waves Mindset Show with your hosts, Richard Biase
and Dave Moskowitz. Learn from our journey as we share the ups and downs
of being your own boss.
We're good.
Well, welcome everyone
to
another fine edition of the Making Waves Mindset Show.
Yes, it is. It always is fine.
It always fine,
is.
Dave.
It always is a great day with us when we get together and record. For those of
we
you
feel
that
like there's so much to share, we just have to, come together
there is lots to talk about. Lots to talk about. For those of you that are just joining us today, and this is your first episode, welcome to the Making Waves Mindset Show, where we inspire, where we make big dreams, and we make waves, we take action, and we follow our journey into the business world.
That's right. It's all about your mindset, everyone.
It is.
We want you, when you listen to the show, if it's your first time following along, it's about changing your mindset. And as we always say in every episode, Dave and I left the 9 to 5. We were in the policing world previously, and we realized there was more to life than working for someone else. We have strong ambitions. We know you have strong ambitions, goals, and aspirations in life. And in order to get to these places, you have to make waves with your mindset. You have to change the way you think. You have to dream bigger and believe in yourself. And Dave, funny enough, today I put a quote up by Harv Edgar, who spoke about that. When you think small and you dream small, all the small shit happens. Yeah. But when you dream big and you think big, that's when those goals and ambitions become reality. So anyways, that's who we are on the Making Waves Mindset Show. Dave, this is a very important part, though, about sharing. This is your thing right now.
Yes. If you are subscribing to our shows, thank you very much. If you've left a review to our show, thank you very much. Big virtual hug from both of us. Yes. If you are not sharing the show, there's got to be a reason. Yeah. If the reason is you don't like it and you were like, nah, you got halfway through the episode and you're like, these guys aren't my style. They're not my jam. These dudes are not what I want to hear. Then share it anyways. Just share it with someone else. It might inspire someone else. You might know somebody, you might not know somebody. Just share. When you're in those water cooler conversations in the office, share the conversation. Talk about it. Say, hey, you know those two cool dudes that I've been listening to for the last year and a half, Richard and Dave? Go listen to their show. It might inspire you. It might change your mindset. It might give you the ability to come into a different world of thinking than you are right now.
And more importantly, leave a review, please.
Yes.
Give us a reach on one of your favorite audio video platforms. Let us know what you think of our recording today or previously. And if we have lit that fire, that flame to get you to do something in the business world, let us know. We'd love to hear that. It's going to help our show grow as we get pushed up those charts and those ratings on each platform, and we can hit that larger audience. So thank you. Hit a review, make a review, write a review, anything related to review, please do it.
Yeah. And if you want us to write the review for you, send us a carrier pigeon.
Oh my God. Carrier pigeon. Anyways, well, today's recording, what is a business, I think, is where we got to go. You know, what is a business? People are, I think if you want to get in, you're curious, you want to get into business, but you don't know. It's a big word. Like, oh my God, all these things. Like, what's really a part of a business? How do you get one going?
It's like Nike. Just do it.
Just do it.
You know, I've had this conversation probably over the past 2 years, 3 years, maybe, when we were when I was looking into starting a business and starting a company. When I was looking into doing that, I had this conversation with at least a dozen people. Yeah. And the conversation always starts of, oh, I have this idea for a business and I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if I should venture down into it. I don't know if I can do this. And everything is almost negative towards it.
True.
It's going to take me time. It's going to take me money. It's going to take me energy. It's going to take this.
What ifs? See those what ifs sneak up.
And it's a lot of negatives. And to tell you the truth, I did it to myself at the beginning too, because I was like, well, I don't know if I should start this. I have a job. I don't know if I should dedicate the stuff into the job. I've dedicated myself into the job instead of putting aside time to do something else. So it's those what ifs. The one thing that I've learned from the beginning, now looking back, was just do it. Just do it. Just start doing something. And if it's a fact that and we've said this before in our episodes, if it means that you're sitting on the couch watching Netflix, which you shouldn't be doing all the time,
Not
but
a
if
chance.
if you're sitting there watching Netflix, pull up your phone, pull up your laptop, and start researching for your business.
Yeah.
Do it while you're sitting on the couch. If you say to me, Dave, everything you guys said from the very beginning is bullshit. I need to de-stress from work, and I need to sit on the couch and play video games, and I need to sit on the couch and play Netflix. Fine, whatever. It is your life to live. But if you are thinking, I need to start a business, and you're thinking, I have this fantastic idea and people are going to buy it, I just don't know how to do it, get on your laptop, get on the Google machine, and Google, I know it's brand new. I know it just came out. I know people don't really trust it yet, and it's one of this magical things where you just do you remember Ask Jeeves?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember
Yes.
Ask Jeeves?
Yes, I
Ask
do.
Jeeves was before Google.
It was.
So get on Google, treat it like Ask Jeeves, and just ask it something. It will spit out information. You might have this idea for a business that is brand new, but I can almost guarantee you there's something on the internet that will lead you down the road of getting started with business.
Yeah. To Dave's point, there's nothing wrong with the draft version. And by all of you listening to our show, watching our show on your favorite platforms, we've addressed some of these things in all of our episodes, right? And we've kind of stopped numbering them on that title line for the reason because it's a whole digital library that we want you to go back on, and you might see a topic or a title that relates to what you're looking for. But it's the draft that is okay. That's how you get started. The draft is how Dave and I got started on the show. If you go listen to episode 1, you will see how we have changed what we have produced for this program, the layout, how we sound, how we interview guests, our format. We just did the draft version. We didn't care. It didn't have to be perfect. But now look, Dave, what are we? This is going to be episode 61, 62. We started at 1 over a year and a bit ago, and we're about to start season 3 soon. So it's a matter of just don't worry about having the perfect version.
Yeah.
Just go as you are. You're going to make mistakes, and mistakes are where you learn. If you're not making mistakes, you're not going to learn. And it's just about taking action, get in the right mindset and going. So today we wanted to talk about that because business, how do you get started? We get consumed by the fear of, here's the business. Okay, there's money involved. There's like some big man behind a cloth machine, like the Wizard of Oz, behind the door, the curtain. There's some weird, strange stuff. No, it's you. You can start the business. You are offering a service. You are offering something that is going to help someone. And in return, there's an exchange, there's a transfer of money or some other type of service. I know people, Dave, you were talking about the episode about a paperclip, trading up.
Yeah,
that
was awesome.
I know people who in professional business, they will trade services for services as a way to, hey, money might be tight, but my experience and knowledge, I can offer you this. And there's tons of people who do that. So it's a way of creating a service and solving a problem for someone. And once you're able to identify that, you get the ball rolling, and that's what's really important. So I think, Dave, where can we start with this? What is a business? So find your idea, find what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say, I think a business is anything you really want it to be. It's an exchange of something for something else. When you look at businesses back in the, I would say look at businesses back in before internet. So back in the 80s, before the internet came around, late 90s, or early 90s, I should say. If you look at business back then, what was business? Business was somebody offering a service, and then you would purchase that service.
Yes.
Either door-to-door salesmen, people going door-to-door selling, vacuum cleaners, or car washing service, or cutting your lawn. There's service business industries. Then there's product business industries. And then there's industries that will service those other industries.
That's right.
Internal business to business. So you either have business to business, so where you're servicing other businesses, or you have business to consumer. Those are basically the two types of businesses that you're going to. So depending on what your idea is, it's going to fall within those two categories. Or the third one is a mix between the two. So you can either do business to business and business to consumer as well.
You may hear the acronyms B2B and B2C. So
Right.
that could throw people off. I know, again, people start using acronyms, you might not know what the hell they're talking about, but that's what Dave is referring to: business to business, B2B, and then B2C, business to
Oh my
consumer.
gosh. And
Yeah.
and I'll tell you right now, right off the bat, from doing business in the United States
It's a
and
lot of
business in
acronyms.
Canada, there is so many different acronyms. There's
Yeah,
so many
it's
different
insane.
acronyms, and
Yeah.
we don't use the same terms on things.
Yeah.
And even within Canada,
Yeah.
we don't use the same terms on
No.
things. So I'll give you an example. So there's something called CAMs and there's something called TMIs. So brick and mortar, when you lease or rent a location,
Okay.
you have to pay. It's similar to a condominium. You have to pay your rent, and then on top of your rent, you have to pay your taxes, mortgage, and insurance for the building. It's like a maintenance fee if you're living in a condo. In Canada, we call it taxes, maintenance, insurance, TMI. In the United States, they call it CAMs, CAM. Even within Canada, you'll talk to people and you'll say, "How much is the TMI?" The what? The CAMs. Oh, the CAMs. The CAMs are this amount of money. So it's an interchangeable term. People use it, but it's something that you learned. It's an acronym that I
Yeah.
didn't know before getting into this.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it existed
Yeah.
before I started getting into a brick and mortar place. So that being said, there's going to be a whole bunch of things that you're going to have to figure out that is going to happen while you're business, and you won't know till you know. And that's just something that you have to get used to. Don't worry about it now. When
Yeah.
you need to know it, that's when it'll come around. And
Yeah.
there'll be terms that you won't know. You know that we'll go back to that Ask Jeeves thing. Just ask Google. Ask
Ask
Google.
Google.
Google will spit it out to you.
It's true.
I didn't know what a TMI was. I typed it into Google. All of a sudden, boom! Now I know what it is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
So let's yeah.
the brass tacks. Just get back to the brass tacks of a business is you're either B2C or B2B.
Yeah.
One or the other, or you're a combination.
And once you figure that out, then start making your plan. How are you gonna promote this? How are you gonna tell the world that you're doing this? Are you gonna use your social platforms? Are you gonna create an online store? Are you gonna have to open a store? So once you kind of determine those routes, you're then going to go on to the next steps of what you're going to have to do for your business. Is this something that you need to incorporate? You know, Dave, back to your point, like in the States, it's all about LLCs LLCs, S&C corporations. In Canada, right. It's numbered companies and LTDs and corps, like different structures, but they have their benefits. So what are you going to offer? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be an in-store brick and mortar? And then how are you going to set up a legal entity or structure? Like, listen, if you're cooking baked goods for, you know, your local community event, you know, you're probably not going to have a corporation set up. Again, I'm not a tax lawyer, not a CPA or whatever, but let's be realistic. But if you're looking at something to grow and have a large product, that's where you're going to need to have the right power team in play. And Dave and I have addressed that as well. Is if you're going to have a power team, you're going to have lawyers, you're going to have accountants, you're going to have real estate oriented people to get these things going. Make sure they're specific to your industry. That's one thing that Dave and I have learned in what is a business, how we're going to start things. You're not going to go find an accountant who only works on residential everyday T4 and T4As in Canada for your taxes. You're going to go find someone that specializes in the type of business that you're looking to operate, because they're going to understand the tax code or what, wherever you are in the world, however they call it, how that book is listed to benefit you and what needs to be paid to respective governments. So it's all about focusing on the direction and maybe having that business plan to see where you want to go. It's like the ball's in your court. It's just so crazy that we get caught up in who's the man behind the curtain. Like, what is this what's business?
Yeah. I would say the first step that you want to do is seek out a business plan.
Yeah.
That should be your first step. And what is a business plan? What is it what is it made up of? If you are financially putting money into a company and you don't even know where to start with a business plan, I would say seek out a company. There's companies this is another one where B2B comes in place. There's companies out there that will create a professional business plan that for you, that with your input of what your business is with financials and everything, so that you can take that to the bank to get financing. So if that's what you're looking for and you're looking to get financing to support your business, you're going to need a professional business plan. And there's companies out there that are going to give you that service. But if you don't want to hire a company because you don't have, you're just a startup and you don't want to spend money paying someone else to do a business plan, do it yourself. How do you do it yourself? Ask
Google.
Jeeves. Google. There's
Yeah.
going to be, there's templates. There's people out there who will give you stuff for free. There's a ton of free stuff out there. So you're starting, you don't want to spend money, go on to Google, type in business plan and whatever industry you're looking at. There's going to be templates on there. There's going to be information on there, which will give you a good start.
The business plan is a way for you to keep track of how you're going to get this business launched with your power team and people who are going to support you. And the business plan is to keep you focused. So you're not worrying about all the finer details every day. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You've clearly outlined what you're going to have, where costs are going to go. Are you going to have a marketing budget? Are you not going to have a marketing budget? What are your objectives for the next 3 months, 6 months? Every business quarter, for example. Okay. And it's a way to keep you focused, to take that stress off your mind so you can focus on what you need to do to get the doors open, so to speak, or to put the open sign on online. So, it's a great way to keep yourself structured. And Dave, both you and I have a business plan. We have them for our respective businesses and what we're going to do, who's responsible for what, and how we're going to get the store open.
Yes.
And you revisit the business plan every year.
Oh
right?
my gosh. So not even every year. You have to, once you start conversations with the bank, then they're going to look at your business plan. They're going to say, hold on a second. You're going to be working with a banker, and the banker is going to say, okay, we need to adapt this and change this, and it's got to reflect this. And the underwriters are going to look at this. It's a process. And is it overwhelming? If it drops on your lap day one, it'd be overwhelming. But as you get through the process, there's people that are going to explain everything to you.
Yes.
The people that you choose in your team. So your team consists of lawyers.
Yes.
Your team consists of accountants. Your team is going to consist of the bank. Everyone within your team should be giving you the proper advice to lead you down in the right direction. Don't go if you don't know any of those resources. So if you don't personally know a resource and you don't trust them, and you're cold calling, don't go with the first person right away just because they were the easiest. Do your research on them. Do your research on the lawyer. Do your research on the business. Make sure that the people, and to your point, Rich, what you were saying is make sure that the people that are in your corner have done this before. Don't let it be their first time that they're learning and you're learning.
Yeah.
You might get a better deal from a guy who just got out of university to be a lawyer, just wrote his bar exam, who's just started his practice. He might give you a great deal because he just got out of law school.
That's right.
But does he have the experience on how to do it? And if he doesn't have the experience, is it going to lengthen the time that it takes him to learn to do it? And is he going to be charging you for him learning?
That's right. And you might have that lawyer, though, Dave, who's with the right, they could be with the right firm, though, who has the expertise versus being on their own, right? They're going to have somebody. So, things to keep in mind. I wanted to jump back to Dave's point, too. Your business might not require capital from the bank. That's the other thing, too. So, that conversation Dave was having might be somebody who needs the capital. They're opening a franchise. They need to have capital to purchase a type of a space to lease or equipment that's needed in a restaurant, for example. So things to keep in mind as you go about what you want to do. But it's very true. Find the seasoned experts. If it's something as well, what's the common theme on the show, Dave, where our guests have always said, seek out a
mentor.
Yeah. You might find a mentor,
coach, mentor, whatever you want to call it,
who can help guide you through what this journey is that you want to embark on. And it's almost better. Listen, you want to make the draft, but you can also save yourself a lot of headaches by finding someone who's already made those mistakes or knows what those mistakes are and can save you time, money, and the pain. There's going to be a lot of pain, but we'll save you a majority of the pain as you embark on this journey. So seek out a mentor that can help if it is something that you need. Like, let's jump back to Knick Knack Knits, right? Very simple business model. We've had her on the show twice already, and it's not like she's needing a ton of capital to get started. She's not going to need a mentor. This is something that she gained as an experience from her grandmother, and that's what made Nicole so successful at her little business. By the way, shout out, she's going to be at the One of a Kind show, which is coming up. I think is it December? End of the month. That's right.
End of this month. 11 days. Go visit. I'm going.
100%.
And we will be there for sure to visit. Go support small businesses. Almost every person in that show is a small business. So go support it, please.
Right. So there's an example of someone who literally is using yarn to make blankets versus somebody who needs, heavy machinery to get things going, and they're going to need a mentor of certain things. So, what could Nicole benefit from? Maybe a person as a mentor to scale up her business. Right. If she wants to take it somewhere that she has huge ambitions and goals. So what I'm trying to get at is you might not need a mentor for something that you literally have knowledge and passion and experience on now, but she could benefit from a mentor to totally level her up into, now I'm bringing my product into big box stores. I need somebody to take me to that level. So things to consider, and there are thousands of different mentors and coaches out there who have that experience. So just some ideas to keep in mind in what is a business as you go forward.
Yes. The other things that you have to consider too is the people that you're using as a mentor. They are going to look at how long they've been in the position and if they were successful or not. We've preached on this show since the beginning that we are not the experts in this. The information we're telling you is information we've learned, or if it's information that we've sought out from our mentors. So it's information to follow our journey. So be careful who you're getting information from, and just make sure that the information that you're getting is from someone who's tried, true, and tested that information. I'll give you an example of some great information that I received at the very beginning from one of our guests, Adrian Carter. So I was looking for the accounting assistants and bookkeeping assistants to the company for Stretch Lab, and I didn't know where to go. There was accounting firms online. I know some accountants in our family. I was thinking of going that route. I just wasn't sure. First thing he said to me is, do yourself a favor. It will help you in the long run. Make sure you have an accountant and a bookkeeper. That's right. I was like, okay, well, now I need to find somebody. Since you told me I should do this, who do I use?
Recommendation.
Recommend somebody, right? Because if you can recommend somebody to me, then it will give me the better trust that you've recommended them. So he says, I've never used this person, but my best friend has used them, and someone who I know has used them. So reach out to them, and they should be able to help you. So reach out to them, and they're a small business themselves, an accountant, bookkeeper, some other junior accountants in the firm. So I reached out to them and interviewed them. I said, I'd like to potentially work with you. Tell me about what you've done in the past. Tell me who you work with. Give me some references. Let me look into you. Like I was interviewing them for a job, because ultimately they're going to be looking at the financial aspect and making sure the financial aspect of our business is in check, and make sure that we're complying with laws, make sure we're complying with all the tax laws, make sure we're ensuring we're paying our employees correctly. All that kind of stuff. So you're putting a lot of trust in your accountant for the financial back end. If you're lucky enough to be an accountant in your starting business, you're golden, because you could do your own if that's what you choose to do. But I don't have a strong backing in financial, so I sought out somebody who I can trust. That's an example of using your internal resources to find something and somebody to help your business out, so that you can trust them and sleep easy at night knowing that they have your back when it comes to your financials.
Once to your point, Dave, once you escape the 9-to-5, you'll quickly realize the amount of people out there like Adrian who are a wealth of knowledge, kindest hearts in the world, who are willing to go out of their way to help another entrepreneur. You don't see that in the 9-to-5 at all. Sorry. Like, what was that? Mic drop. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Once you get to the entrepreneurial space, people are willing to give referrals. They're willing to send you to someone who has helped them. It's about relationships. And I'm even seeing that now as we build the restoration business, especially in the US. That's not a market I'm familiar with. So having to enter a whole different country with a whole different way of operating things, I'm reaching out to all of my new owners, others in the entrepreneurial space, and people who go, I know someone, I have used them, they are reputable, and here's why. It just saves so much stress and headache off your mind of what am I going to do, how am I going to do this. Find somebody who's already dealt with them and ask the questions of those who are already business owners. They're always willing to help. It's Dave, it's the resiliency. That's the other thing you have to pack in your bag with you. It's resiliency to keep going, because there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of probably no's that are going to come your way of clients who, I don't want your services. That's fine. But it's bouncing back and just knowing when you think that you've failed or you think that you've doubting yourself, stop it. Stop it. You are fine. You are going to get ahead. That's why Dave and I share this show, because we want to talk about the ups and downs and the crazy shit that happens. But it's important to know that you got to pack your suitcase or your backpack full of who carries a suitcase? Briefcase.
I carry a suitcase.
Yeah, right.
Door-to-door salesman.
Yeah, the right thing of the past, right? But just pack that resiliency with you and know that, listen, take a deep breath. You're going to have shitty days and things will come together. You're going to find the right people who are willing to help and guide you.
Yeah. Pack your patience. I think we talked about it in one of the episodes. Patience is a virtue. If you think business is going to move fast, it's not. It's not. It does not move quick. It moves, I say it's not going to move quick, but the one thing, it actually moves faster than corporate work. Well, no,
it does.
Our previous employment, it works a lot faster than the previous employment. I'll give you an example. And I was having this discussion just the other day, and it's an epiphany I had. So I don't know if we've mentioned on the show before. So obviously we've hired some employees, and so in my previous employer, I was involved in the hiring process to hire new employees. The hiring process usually in the world of policing, in the world of law enforcement, to become a police officer, special constable, any type of position where you're a peace officer, it's usually like a 9-month process.
Yes.
Could be up to a year or more, but it's usually around 9 months it takes to hire somebody and I understand, because there's background checks and all that kind of stuff to go through. Get out of that world for a minute. Go into the other positions, administration positions within those organizations, administration positions where you're not a peace officer. I guarantee you cannot get a job. It'll take you at least 3 months minimum. Maybe 2 months at the least, but you're looking at months to get hired by a large corporation.
Very true.
I had an interview with somebody. I liked them so much, I hired them after the interview.
Good for you.
Paperwork sent, done, 2 days.
Really?
That's the big difference between a large corporation and a small business. And that, to me, it was just the epiphany of, I get to change people's lives and provide them jobs within days' notice, rather than keep them on the chain and we'll let you know in a couple months. We'll let you know down the road.
It's terrible.
To me, that's the benefit of having a small business, and benefit of being in business is that things will move quicker, but you have to pack your patience for the other things that are out of your control. Things that are within your control are going to move very fast. Things that are out of your control, like finding a place to have your business, brick and mortar, getting contracts drafted, getting things, those take time.
And I think we were talking about some of those earlier on, Dave. You had mentioned there was like some delays, and you had reached out to the show. Hey, anybody know why it takes so long? But stuff happens, and even for us in our restoration business, like we had some naming conventions that are being considered to be renamed, and that's literally like slowed us down 2.5, 3 months.
Oh yeah,
so it is what it is. But before you know it, we'll be open, we'll be running, and we'll be laughing, looking back at like, we are in charge and we are helping people. We are solving problems. We are giving people. I I can't remember who I was talking to, but the ability to help someone. Actually, that's who it was. I was talking to another one of our owners, and I said, you know what I love about this is that we have the ability to help someone, get their first mortgage, buy their car, put food on the table for their family. We are responsible for that.
That's right.
And the feeling of gratitude and thanks that we've hired an incredible person and we are giving back in this way is what makes me smile every day. And I think, Dave, the same for you. But that's the power of being a business owner, not working for a big corporation where there's just so much bureaucracy and red tape and stuff. So, but that's part of the business life, and just know that there's going to be risks involved. You're going to want to seek out of course, both sides, right? We spoke about it on the last episode. There are going to be good positives, so maybe make note of that. You're going to see it in your plan. Then your business plan could reflect on what some of those risks are. What are the risks? Is it going to be cost? Is it going to be machinery? Is it going to be material? Is it going to be employees? What are the risks? And have these plans and contingencies for what if this happens where you have no staff or the machine breaks down.
Right.
You have to consider these options. There's so much involved, and we want to try to give you the insight as to how we are accomplishing small business.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, I think that, that gives everyone a good idea of what a business is. And if you have any questions, if you're still like, I still don't understand what a business is, or how do I even get to the business, reach out to us.
Yeah.
I am more than happy, and I'm sure Rich is more than happy to get into a conversation with you. And if you are looking at starting a business in the next little while, let's get it started. Let's come on as a guest. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us how you've been inspired by us. Come on the show and let's talk about it. Let's talk about how you're going to get into this business.
You know what's funny, Dave? To that point, there are several people who I know who are in this position that you just said. And I'm like, you got to come on the show. They're like, no, I'm not there yet. And I'm like, what does that mean? I said, we have people who listen to the show who are decades, generations ahead of Dave and I, who are somewhat in alignment with where we are, or people who are behind us in terms of they're now thinking they want to leave. And I said, you're the person that other people are going to align themselves with, going, okay, here's somebody just like me. I said, you bring value. You're just putting yourself down. We're not realizing how imperative your story is to helping someone else leave or start a new business. So Dave, like, they're out there, and I have these conversations. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, just get on the show. Come on.
Right.
Anyways,
it's hard to, I don't know. We could have a whole new show on how to motivate people and how to convince people that they can do it too. But
I think some effort has to be in their court. We can't, there's a lot of discussion online, Dave, about is motivation tied to like your success, or what is motivation? And like, for me, motivation is something where I need to have daily good discipline and habits in order to get the ball moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to get things moving. If you don't have good daily habits, you're not going to have the motivation. If you're not going to crush your fitness in the morning, you're going to wake up feeling like a blob, So that's kind of the motivation. But I think people get lost in that, and they think they need it every day, but they have the capability of doing it right now.
Right. Don't delay. Just do it. Just listen to Nike. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Just get it done.
Right.
Dave.
Yes.
Where can our listeners find you?
Instagram,
David
A. Moskowitz, or come on down. We are going to be doing some pop-up events. If you live in the downtown area, we are starting sales for our memberships starting Monday.
Okay.
If you are living in the downtown core, or you want to commute, or you work downtown, or you frequent downtown, find us on Instagram, Stretch Lab Toronto Downtown. Type it into Instagram, type it into Facebook, type it into the internet, into Ask Jeeves. Type it into the Google machine, Stretch Lab Toronto Downtown. You will find on all three of those things on Linktree. Go to Linktree. There's a calendar there of when our pop-ups are going to be. Follow us on all the platforms. Come on down, sign up for a pop-up event, receive a free 15-minute stretch. Who here does not want to get a free stretch?
Yeah, absolutely.
You will feel like gold after. But you can find me there. You can find me on Instagram and LinkedIn. Either reach out to me and our Making Waves. We always forget to
Yeah, we always
talk
do.
about our Making Waves Instagram. We have Making Waves Instagram. We're on LinkedIn. Reach out to us through that. Leave a carrier pigeon if you want. Send a pigeon by. We'll get that. You can find us there too.
Might take too long for that pigeon to get here, Dave. It's getting cold.
That's true. That's true. They go into hibernation. All right. Where do we find you, Rich?
We are on Instagram. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are almost everywhere. So like Dave said, I've had a link tree for a while. Instagram's probably the best place. Richard Biase, and then hit link tree in the bio, and then you'll find everywhere to go.
You're like City TV. You're everywhere.
Everywhere. Mark Daly everywhere.
Oh, I miss that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where you can connect with us there on those platforms. Dave, there's always something I forget at this part that's really important.
Subscribe,
review, share, like, questions.
Dream bigger, make waves,
and take action, everyone. We'll talk to you on our next episode.